Hey, my name is Mark Romanek, and if you're looking for a new fishing boat in 2018, you're going to want to check out this model. It's a Starweld Fusion 18, one of the great new fishing boats from Starweld. The Starweld 18 Fusion is 17 foot 6 inches long down the center line, has a 90-inch beam and a maximum horsepower capacity 150. We're going to start our discussion of the 18 Fusion right here at the Captain's Console, and it's very nice. First thing that jumps out at you is the steering wheel. It's very plush. Looks like a steering wheel that would be on a race car, not necessarily a fishing boat. And it's also got tilt steering, and that is a very nice feature. I really like that. The other thing that jumps out immediately is you take a look at the graphic comes standard on this. It's flush mount. It's a 5-inch model, and it really cleans up the console. Very, very functional. There's some other unique things you're going to want to look at here as well. For example, there's an audio import switch, and it also has a USB import, so you can charge your cell phone, and you can also listen to music off your phone if you want at the same time. There's also a 12-volt accessory switch, so say you want to take your tablet out and you need to charge that at the same time, you can do that as well. All the other important switches are toggles, and the beauty of that is that you can turn them on, they stay lit, so you can see, well, I just turned on the live well, I remembered that I turned on the live well. That's a very nice feature. Of course, there's an AM/FM radio that's standard, and also the standard fuel gauge and tachometer and speedometer as well. All in all, this is a very nice setup console for fishing. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. I've just jumped across over here to the passenger console, and you'll notice, of course, this is a walk-through windshield design. That's a very nice design for a fishing boat because it's going to give you lots of protection on those days when the wind is blowing or maybe in inclement weather. There's a glove box here, and it's a large glove box. It's plenty big to store fishing tackle, and also you're going to want to keep things in there you don't want to get wet, like your tablet or maybe your cell phone. Nice drink cup holder as well, but underneath there's a shelf, and that shelf underneath this console is important because that's going to be a nice place for you to store small tackle items. Also, these consoles have another important feature. What they do is they house your deep cycle batteries for your electric motor. There's room for one under this console and one under the driver's console as well. So a 24-volt system will stow very nicely underneath these consoles. All in all, well set up for fishing. I'm sitting on the port gunnel of the Fusion, and what I like about it is the gunnel is nice and wide. The beauty of that is that if you want to put track on this boat to mount things like rod holders or downriggers, it's going to be very easy to accomplish that. If you go down below this nice wide gunnel, you got a dry storage compartment that's underneath there, and as you come back to where I'm sitting back here, there's a unique cutout transom. The beauty of that is there's jump seat in here that can be removed. So if you need to get to the back of the boat to net a fish, you simply can just move that seat out of the way and get right back to the back of the boat for netting a fish or maybe for setting lines. The other thing that this ties into is a very deep splash well. Why is that important in a fishing boat? Because you want to keep the waves on the outside of the boat. A splash well does a beautiful job of doing that. There's also room back here for a kicker motor on the transom if you want to mount a kicker motor, and there's dry storage underneath all of this. So all in all, this is set up exceptionally well for a fisherman who's looking to get out on the big pond. Two more features about the back of the boat I think are important to mention. For one, there's room for a cranking battery both on the port side of the boat and on the starboard side of the boat. The beauty of that is if you put two cranking batteries on here, you can run a lot of accessories. Things like downriggers, it's going to be essential to have that extra electrical power. Also on the top of the splash well here, it's an anti-slip surface. It's very, very nice. If you had to stand on here briefly to net a fish or something, you wouldn't have to worry about slipping. Great setup. Here at the cockpit of the boat, we've got vinyl on the floor, which is perfect for a fishing boat. We also have seat-based configurations for up to 4 passengers in the cockpit. And then the floor of the boat is also a very nice rod locker. When you open it, it actually stays open, so you don't have to accidentally worry about the rod locker falling closed on your rods and breaking your rods. It'll stow up to 6 rods. That's a beautiful thing. The 18 Fusion has a raised casting deck up here on the bow, and it's plenty big for all the fishing you're going to want to do up here. Of course, I'm sitting in a nice comfortable seat so that I can be able to cast for any species I want, bass, pike, walleye, you name it. But there's some other important features we need to talk about. For example, the live well up here is huge, and I mean huge. Plenty big for pike and muskie and even trout and salmon. There's also a nice dry storage compartment up here, which is going to be handy for keeping your tackle organized. And there's an electric motor that comes standard, but what's unique about this electric motor, it has a quick disconnect feature. So you can put it on when you need it, take it off when you don't need it. There's also another small storage compartment up here that's just perfect for storing the foot control on your electric motor. All in all, a lot of fishing space up here on the bow of the Fusion 18. I think you're going to like it. The Starweld Fusion 18 is a great mid-sized fishing boat. If you're in the mindset of you want an aluminum boat and you also want a welded hull, you're going to want to check this one out. I recommend going to Starcraft, starweld.com and look them up online, or better yet, find a Starweld dealer and take this one for a ride for yourself.